back to the creator economy.
Kajabi discovers the
I like
creator
Kajabi. Let's just
economy.
call it Kajabi for the rest. I don't like Kajabi. I don't know. Nothing. I don't know why. I just like, like when I was young, I just didn't like Jennifer Lopez for like no reason. I just didn't like Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah?
I feel the same way about Kajabi. Yeah. I just don't like. I don't like it. Anyways.
I've never used it, but they're a big player. They're a big swinger in the content creator economy. I love the links that you shared for today's episode here, Matt. You like the Wayback Machine, eh? You use that a lot.
I find the Wayback Machine is a cool way to look like know what we're talking about, because people don't know about the Wayback Machine. So
I don't use it nearly as much as you do, but I feel like I got to start using it. Yeah.
Yeah, because you could see web pages, from way back in the machine, right? So here's what I found. This is what I thought was interesting. So I remember Kajabi switched their positioning last year sometime to target what they're calling, they were calling themselves, I should say, the number one platform to grow your knowledge business.
Yeah. And
at that time as well, you might remember, if anyone's kind of follows Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, they launched mastermind.com. You know the whole story behind that. It's actually a cool story. Russell Brunson actually bought mastermind.com for them. And they were all about building your knowledge business. And going even further back into the word knowledge business is what I recall, I believe the first person I heard talking about that was Eben Pagan. Eben Pagan is the godfather of selling courses online. Anybody teaching how to sell courses online, whatever techniques and psychology and marketing that they're teaching, it really comes from Eben Pagan's work, is what from my knowledge, from what I've seen. That's how far back I've seen the kind of the knowledge, the knowledge worker, the knowledge business, that sort of thing. So yeah. I thought it was interesting. And to give even more background on Kajabi for those who may be interested, Kajabi was originally launched by one of these information marketing gurus. His name was Andy Jenkins, who wrote the first video sales letter. It was actually launched using a product launch formula. It's called a PLF, which is very popularized by Jeff Walker. So it was a 4-part video series, and it uses a very formulaic system to get people engaged and inspired in this new software. And that's how they launched Kajabi. And Kajabi was originally launched for people like the Jeff Walkers, the Eben Pagans, the Brendan Burchards, the Tony Robbins, who are selling courses online, doing this sort of thing. And I think it was around 2010, but based just on my memory of when it launched. And at that time, I remember I talked to you about this in the previous episode about how Unbounce, I was using Unbounce at that time, and how they were like completely unaware of this market of these course creators doing launches and product launch formulas and stuff like that, right? Much later on, ClickFunnels came around and made it very easy to build your funnels out, all that. That's all kind of just a side note about Kajabi. And so Kajabi then did a huge revamp of their product maybe 5 years ago. Adding the layers of community inside there and email marketing and so much more. They even
data
have
analytics,
a shared, they have a shared mobile app, which is also very powerful. It's not your own app. It's a shared one, similar to like what Mighty Networks offers, if anyone's familiar with that. So I think mobile learning is also very important when you're choosing your e-learning platform. So I noticed that they switched to calling it a knowledge business. I then also noticed that Thinkific started calling their target audience, as building a knowledge business. And so what I thought was interesting is that now when we go to their website, I'm going to pull it up here and we scroll down, it says creators use Kajabi to do and earn more. Great headline, by the way. Props to Kajabi. And so they're now targeting creators. And then what's interesting is that there was this press release that came out all about what they're calling their inaugural State of the Creator Economy report. I'm pretty sure inaugural means like annually. Is that what that means?
Inaugural. Yeah. That's and I downloaded the report, but I haven't had a chance to really dig into it yet. It's it's like 45 pages or something. And it's a lead magnet for them.
Yeah, and I think it's actually the first time that they've ever put it out. So that means that they're going to do one. I think so.
Okay, so that's what inaugural means. Yeah, it's the first time they've And from what I've read, they're going to keep it updated.
Is that what that word means? Is that inaugural
it
means that it's the first time we're doing it, but we're going to do it every year?
Yeah, and from what I've read, this is a report that they're going to keep updated. From my understanding, yeah, because I did skim it a little bit, and there's some really fantastic. I'm actually getting ready to do a big presentation myself. I'm like, oh, there's some good data in here that I'm going to be able to insert into my slide deck. But yeah, no, going back to what you were saying there, it's like you're comparing. I love the Wayback Machine, by the way, and you're comparing what their brand, what their marketing copy was focused on, the knowledge worker. And to that note, actually, I got to mention this because you brought it up. The whole Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, they launched that program for mastermind.com. They called it the Knowledge Business Blueprint. I'm a customer.
That's right.
Did you get that, KBB?
No, I didn't.
You didn't? I got it. It's fantastic. And at the time, it was
Hey, they should have had you down with KBB. Yeah, you know me. That should have been their thing.
Yeah,
that's like every time I hear KBB. You know what? I make these references and I think it just like ages us because most people who watch the show probably have no idea what I just said. Like,
we are a little ancient in the marketing world at this point, aren't we?
Same thing you mentioned, like Tim Allen before.
Yeah, Tim Allen, Home Improvement. It's
nobody knows what you're talking about.
I know. I'm like people are like Home Improvement, just Home Improvement. Back in my day when I had to go to school, so I like Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. They're brilliant. And at the time, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. That was the largest product launch in online history because I can't remember the numbers.
Was it?
They sold like 20,000 courses in like a week. At the time, I don't know if it's now been surpassed by something else, but at the time, it was the largest online product launch ever. It generated crazy amounts of money. Yeah.
So going back into history, because I mentioned Andy Jenkins. Andy Jenkins was a part of StomperNet, which was like Andy Jenkins. It was Mike Filsaime, I think, and it was Frank Kern or whatever. And at the time, they all teamed up to make one big product called StomperNet. And that was, at that time, the biggest product launch. I have no idea how much it made. I can't remember. Gotcha. And that's what I was referring to when I'm saying Andy Jenkins. And then Andy Jenkins went on to create Webinar Jam with Mike Filsaime. And that was there.
Okay. I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. And rest in peace, Andy Jenkins. He passed away a few years ago.
Oh.
But anyways, but yeah, going back to big launches, that's what I'm just referencing, the big launch thing. So I don't know how much they made, but I would imagine, I remember that was a pretty big launch.
Yeah.
The other one too that's really big is amazing.com, which is an e-commerce course about Amazon.
Yeah.
And it's like $5,000, something like that, I think.
Yeah. I haven't taken it, but I know a lot of people who have. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that was like an extremely successful launch.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah. And it's generating crazy success too, because people who actually apply that actually do well, right? So anyways, we're jumping all over the place now. But something that I noticed when I was comparing the Kajabi website in the Wayback Machine to now, yes, you're totally bang on. They've like, and we're going to talk more about this with some other brands. They've discarded the knowledge worker terminology, that copy, and they've adopted the content creator, the creator economy, blah, blah, blah. But something else that I noticed, I don't know if you picked up on this. When you scan through, I'm sharing my screen here. When you scan through, first of all, there's a lot of copy on this. Maybe this is just how things used to be, like were done a year ago or 2 years ago, right? But as you can see, it says right here, your business before Kajabi, right? On their old site. And they're highlighting all the logos of their competitors here, saying that you can replace all of these applications, all of these softwares if you just switch to us. And then you scroll down, I'm sharing my screen here, right? As you scroll down, more ways to monetize your knowledge. And then they highlight Teachable, Kartra, Thinkific. Keep going, everything in one place. Squarespace, Wix, and WordPress. Keep going, get paid on your terms, Samcart, WooCommerce, Infusionsoft. So it's like, I find this fascinating because this is like marketing 101. You know, the old adage that Pepsi talks about Coke, but Coke doesn't talk about Pepsi, right? And then you go to their current website, how it's structured, and way cleaner, way less copy, way like the whole less is more approach right away above the fold. That's the first thing that jumps out at me. Way less going on, way less confusing to the eye. And when you scroll down, creators use Kajabi to do more and earn more. Like you said, I love that copy. $3.5 billion earned for their users. That's a fantastic metric. I don't know if there's any platform that can actually compete with or beat that metric. That is a fantastic metric. And you scroll down, you don't see any mention, any logos of their competitors anywhere. So that's just something I wanted to flag for you in case you didn't notice.
I didn't notice. That actually is very interesting. You're right. Because their old page showed all those
Yeah.
logos. Yeah, it's like replace this, replace that.
Yeah. But they were talking about their competitors, and now you can't see their competitors anywhere on their website. Pretty cool, right?